Exchange. Joining us now to talk about Ubank, that's the former Teba Bank, their expansion plans, is CEO Luthando Vutula. Morning, Luthando. I remember Teba Bank, and now one is aware of Ubank. I always think of it as the miners' bank. I think that's how everyone speaks to and thinks of it. However, the mining sector has been badly hit, in particular by the platinum strike. How badly has the platinum strike hit the miners' bank?
Morning, David. Yes, it has certainly hit us. I mean, it's been hitting the last 3 months have been very difficult, I think, for us as a bank, but more importantly, I think, for our customers as well.
What sort of numbers can you put to that? A percentage drop in repayments, the number of loans that you've had to restructure? What kind of numbers are we talking about?
Well, I mean, we've got big plans in terms of contacting. You look, as you would be aware, that there's some 70,000 people that are on strike. And we're looking at contacting at least about 30,000 of those.
So they have loans with you?
Yes, they do have loans with us. And so we'll be talking to them about how we can possibly relook at restructuring their loans and also how we can just help them with financial planning. I mean, you would understand that it's a difficult time for our customers now.
Well, you say financial planning, but yes, at this point there's no finances to plan with, is there? I mean, they're not getting any money. What do you do when someone has been out of work, in the sense of not being paid for 3 months, and it could go on for another few months?
Look, it's a tough one for us. And I mean, normally what you would want to look, amongst other things, of course, is you would want to look at the term of that loan. And I mean, we are certainly hoping and optimistic that, a solution is going to be found. And when that solution is found, our customers will have income again, and they'll be able to make repayments.
Do you give them a payment holiday, perhaps, or do you reduce the payments by lengthening the loan? What's the favored solution here?
Look, amongst other things, both actually can happen, where you actually increase the term of the loan, so that you can make it more affordable, I think, for them. And obviously what becomes important is that you look at these things on a case-by-case basis. But I think ultimately the objective is to assist them.
Is it threatening your survival, this kind of strike?
Look, I wouldn't say it's threatening our survival, but it certainly, does hurt us, because as you've said earlier on, we are the miners' bank of choice. I mean, we bank most of the miners, I think, in South Africa, especially in gold and platinum. So there's no doubt about that. So a strike of this nature, 70,000, odd people go on strike, yes, it would have an impact on us.
You're owned by a trust which is managed by the Chamber of Mines and the National Union of Mine Workers. Of course, that's not the National Union of Mine Workers, it's the striking union here, but I suppose that's another issue. Is the model different? I mean, one thinks of the big four banks. They're listed on the stock exchange, they have to look after people's money, they have to lend money to people to run the economy, and they have to deliver returns for shareholders. What are the expectations for you of returns for shareholders?
Look, I mean, there's no difference. I think the reality is that we are a bank. We've got a banking license. We are properly regulated like all other banks, and so there is an expectation that we must create value for our shareholders. The fact that we are owned by a trust, I mean, that is something completely different. And I think I must stress that, the difference with us is that we make a huge impact where our customers are coming from. I mean, our customers specifically come from rural provinces. And as a bank, we've made a huge difference there, whether it's through, specifically, I think, particularly around education, where we've built schools. We've made sure that there's libraries in other areas, and there's community centers. So there's a huge focus on community investment, I think, as a bank, particularly where our customers are coming from.
Are you still making a profit if the strike goes on?
Yeah, no, we are making a profit. Look, in the last financial year we made a loss. We're confident that this financial year we will make a profit. I mean, we're busy now with the audit, but as I say, I'm confident that we'll make a profit this year. But the last 2 months have been very difficult for us.
You've also been looking for new markets.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got a huge expansion plan. As you'd be aware, we are not in all the provinces, I think, in South Africa. Now we're wanting to go into KZN, we're wanting to go into Northern Cape, we want to go into the Western Cape. And the reason being, David, which is very important, is that we are a niche bank. We focus on LSM 4 to about LSM 8 or 9. So essentially, it's people who are earning around 3,500 to about 30,000. So that's the market that we want to service, and that's our niche.
Western Cape.
Yes.
There are no mines in the Western Cape.
No mines in the Western Cape, and but there's definitely farmers in the Western Cape. Remember, in as much as we are the bank of choice for miners, we now want to go outside mining. We want to target teachers, we want to target nurses, police, clerks, and so forth. I mean, what is important, it's that segment that I was just referred to. People who earn about 3,000 to people who earn about 30,000. That's the space that we want to play in.
Now, that's going to change the way you do business, because if you were the miners' bank and you had a geographic focus, a particular cultural focus, if I may put it like that, because it's mining industry. Miners are certain kinds of people, so you know who you're dealing with. Now you're going to have to talk, if you're talking policemen, teachers, nurses, a different kind of model, different kind of marketing, different kind of infrastructure perhaps.
Absolutely, and that is why it's important to understand why we rebranded in 2010. It was precisely to address that, so that we don't have a concentration risk in mining. I mean, as you've said earlier, this platinum strike is hurting us because we do have a concentration risk in mining. So what we want to do is we want to still consolidate our position in mining, but grow to other areas as well, as I've said, teachers, nurses, and so forth.
If you need a capital injection, I mean, big companies sometimes do. They go for a rights issue on the stock exchange if they're listed, or they've got a major shareholder who's prepared to put money in. You're owned by the Chamber of Mines and the National Union of Mine Workers. Do you have a big brother if you need that capital injection?
Well, we are currently looking, and I must say that it is promising. So for the next, 3 to 5 years, we will be raising about 3 to 5 billion rand to support our expansion plans. I mean, there's 3 areas that will focus. We're investing in IT, we're investing in our distribution, and we are also investing in our product development. So those 3 areas are the areas that, we'll be putting money into.
You yourself were at ABSA Home Loans?
Absolutely, yes, I was. And by the time I left, I was actually in business bank and heading what they call sectors.